everyone, it's James.
And Stephanie, and today we're going to give you a tour of how James has pimped out our EKKO gear garage.
That's right. It's been a while coming. It's finally ready for prime time.
Yep.
But if you've seen some of my other videos, the super complicated mods, this might not be what you're expecting.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's kind of simple, but you've done some really clever things too.
Yeah. Well, and it's simple. We've got reasons for the simplicity. And the main thing is that we wanted to reduce the PITA factor. That's P-I-T-A, pain in the...
Yes.
Want to reduce that.
So when we got our EKKO, we were loading up the bikes and puzzle piecing in all sorts of stuff because we didn't have any organization. And it became this big ordeal to get the bikes out. Like I'd have to, if I wanted just my bike, I'd have to move James's bike. I'd have to involve him. I couldn't just get it out myself. So we've solved that problem, making it really simple to get either bike out.
That's right. That was actually one of the key things, is we wanted to be able to get either bike out without having to involve the other bike or the other rider, so that either one of us could come and go as we please with the bikes. And that's kind of the whole reason we got the gear garage in the first place, is for the bikes. So it just makes sense to organize it around cycling. So what you won't see is us trying to just cram as much crap as physically possible into the back.
Yeah, the gear garage is all dedicated to our cycling habit and, you know, a few utilitarian things.
But I didn't want to have to move things around. I didn't even want to have to really adjust the pedals too much to fit the two bikes in there.
Yeah.
So, and another reason you won't see a bunch of stuff crammed in the back is because of weight.
Oh, yes.
So if you haven't weighed your rig before your next trip, do yourself a favor, take it out and weigh yourself when you're absolutely full. Water, gas, everything you've got.
Right.
You'll be surprised.
Well, and James had the idea originally was going to be to use some tracks, but they were really heavy.
Yeah, the heavy-duty pull-out drawer slides. They were actually 35 pounds just for the slides.
Yeah, and that doesn't even count whatever you would have built on top of that. And we didn't want to sacrifice that weight in the gear garage. We just want to have that flexibility because you have some more mods you want to do.
I got one more big mod coming, and I want to save some weight for that. So we tried to build it kind of light. And you'll see that when we get to the garage. Speaking of which...
Is it time for the tour?
Let's do the tour.
All right.
Let's go. Okay, so we'll start over here on my side, and this is the one concession to the future mod that I want to make. I want to get some automatic levelers. That's why we're saving weight. But until then, I've got these in here. These won't be here because these things are definitely a pain in the rear when you want your bike out. So the first thing you'll notice is that we took off the molly panels. Now, when we did that, that saved us about 10 pounds, but it also saved us about 4 inches off the width of the van. And so what that means is that I can have the bikes further apart on the inside, and so there's less chance of the pedals impacting each other when you put the bikes in. So that's the first thing. Now, here on the door, I've only got one. On Stef's side, we've got 2. And we get 1 bike out on each side, by the way. That's a key thing there. I've got a 10 by 20 flexible, like a gear net. And I keep my helmet in here, and for my shoes, for right now, until I get another net, which will go here, I just keep my shoes in this bag and I just toss them in there. Helmet and shoes. And they're held up on here. These are all Obi products we've got in here. These are held up with these things called snads. They're like adhesive-backed snads with that 3M BHB adhesive. But if you get snads, get the solid ones, not these flexible ones. These clear flexible ones tend to peel off more because they don't have to come off all at once. Anyway, helmet. Now, up top, Stef was on to me to make use of the vertical space. And one way to do that would be to build a platform and then put things underneath it. But that seemed like a lot of weight, a lot of bother. So what I did is I decided to store our wheels when they were removed from the bikes up here. And so I actually made this. Let me just clip this out. So this mounts to the T-track that's in there. And basically it's just a little tic-tac-toe board of netting. And when you do that, the center of the wheel plops right into the center of the netting, and it just holds the wheel up over the bike. And these just clip to these rings that come with the EKKO. Now, for the bike itself, there is one little fussy bit, and that's I've got some Velcro back there to make sure the back tire doesn't bounce out. But basically, they're just in fork mounts, and you roll them right out. and that's more or less ready to ride. So let me show you how that's held in there. We've got some fairly long pieces of aluminum channel. Now this aluminum channel is like 2.5 inches wide across the bottom, and I did that so that you wouldn't have to guide the back wheel in, so that as long as you get the wheel onto this part of the channel, you can just push the bike back and the wheel stays in the track. Now that is mounted along with the fork mount to a heavy-duty 1/4 inch thick piece of aluminum that spans the T-track, and so that's bolted down. I could actually remove that. That is further bolted down in the back to keep the back end of the track sane. Now, in here, more organization stuff. Kind of tough to see, we'll get that in B-roll. But there's a 30 by 24 gear net. This is another Obi product, and it fits perfectly in this space between this door and this door. And so I keep, like, you know, tire sealant and a couple bike tools, just like a pedal wrench, really frequently used stuff in there. So there's the gear net. Now, on this side, we've got a bicycle pump, which I've got with just kind of like a broom holder right there. Best bicycle pump ever, by the way. And then we've got these little plastic framed net pockets, also from Organized Obi, that we've got mounted on either side. Now, there are outlets on either side of the EKKO garage. And so what we use these for are our electronics, our bike lights, our tail lights, our Garmin devices, that sort of thing. And they're plugged in, and so they're charging whenever, you know, the rig is on. That's there. Now we also keep a couple tables, but they fit up on the shelf. These are Alps mountaineering tables, and we got them because they fit on that shelf. So we've got those in there. Now let's come around to the back. It's not only bikes in the back. This is like the coolest thing ever. So we've got these super cool chairs, which I've got mounted like so. And these chairs are awesome. It's like this. Boom. Boom. And then there's the chair. Okay, these chairs are pretty cool, and they mount up on the ceiling, again, trying to make use of the vertical space. They're mounted again to the T-track, but I got a piece of vinyl fence post. It's like 4 or 5 inches square, and I just cut it in half, and then I mounted it up to the ceiling, and these things slide in up there, and then there's a bungee that kind of holds them in place, and then when you want one, you just slide one out. And then to store them away, just put it right in there, bring around the bungee, snap it to the hook. You can move that out of the way if you want. That's the chair. I was so proud of myself when I came up with that. I'm coming around to Stef's side. As you can see here, Stef has two 10 by 20 stretch nets. Another Alps mountaineering table. These are about a yard square, so we've got 2 of them just in case we want to. She's got a slightly larger net pocket here, so she can store more things in there. Hers are mounted up. These are the hardback snads, which I prefer. And the last thing we've got over on this side is this kind of largish net. Now this is something Obi calls an easy net, and they're like on clearance or something. You can get them for like $7 right now. What it is it's a big net, and it's got loops on the 4 corners, and it's actually a pocket, so it opens this way, but we're not using it like that. So I just hooked it up to the T-track with some of these carabiners, and it holds up there on the side. Now why do I have it? I have it because we've got these. We do keep some utilitarian stuff back here. This is a Camco bag that's got our electrical stuff in it. And then we've got another one here that's got our freshwater supplies in it. And we keep those in the back because that's where you need them, really. But I keep them behind this net just to keep them from flopping out and running into Stef's bike here. Now, Stef's bike, her mount's a little different. Her bike has a through axle. We've got mounted here a through axle mount from Unaka Gear Company. But other than that, hers is more or less the same as what's on my side. Now, the one tiny concession we have to make here is that her pedal on this front side has to be raised up a bit to clear this shelf. But beyond that, it's pretty simple, and it's a one-person job to get the bike in or out. And like I said, I do have some Velcro straps around the back end of the track. Trying to figure out how I can not even have to have those, because that makes you have to go into a second door to open the Velcro strap. We don't use the Velcro straps when we're in camp, but like when we're ready to hit the road to go someplace else, we'll tighten down the Velcro straps. So if we were to bounce, the back wheels won't bounce out of the track. That's kind of going to do it. Oh, one more thing. We have Mel's cat carrier back in there. You can probably see that better here. That's Mel's cat carrier. Now, we've learned the hard way that it is much better to have that and not need it than it is to need it and not have it. So it's just basically sitting on the shelf, and I've got it just bungeed there to keep it from falling out while we're in travel. And we don't get to that very often, so most of the time it just sits there and it's not in the way. And that pretty much does it. Now, I can show you putting the bike away. It's pretty darn quick. Back in camp, putting the bike away, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 24 seconds, roughly, to get the bikes away. That's it. We're ready to go. It kind of took me a little longer than it normally would to get the chair up. We're not all that practiced with these chairs yet.
Yeah, but we really like them. And what did you guys think about that chair storage? Isn't that brilliant? Good job.
They're out of the way. They're out of the way.
You use that ceiling space just like I hoped you would.
Indeed. So that's our gear garage. It is not complicated. It's not pretty. It's not packed.
But that was our goals too, to keep it simple. My bike is safe in there. There's nothing rattling around that's going to hit it. I can access it easily.
It is super functional for what we got it for.
Absolutely.
And that is to get the bikes in and out with a minimum of bus.
Yes.
So,
and it's a beautiful day, so we are going to bust out those bikes now and go ride.
Okay. So there will be a post on thefitrv.com that links to like the products that we use and some of the stuff that I put in the bag. So if you're interested in finding some of those products, go ahead and check out that post. It'll be in the YouTube description.
And you can leave comments over there as well on that same post, so make sure you click in the link in the description for that.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye.